Right, so welcome back. I'm trying to think we were up to, I think, apart from screwing around with that bumper for a couple of days, and then I've just been doing some other stuff with that dark, which I've finished and dropped back off, and now I've got some more stuff, depending on how these videos fall. Right, so I'm pretty happy with the bumper result. I haven't finished it, but I've got enough done that I think I can go back into obviously cleaning up and stripping and sanding these front panels and see if we can get this bloody thing sanded back ready for primer and doing out the little repairs need to do. Block these back guards out. Some point in the next day or two I'll get the back glass out. So I think what I'll do is I'll spend a couple of minutes strip this front lights and grill back out, and we'll whip the other front guard off and get this one back off, and we can start blocking this one. I think what I'll do with the bumper end is I'll make them just fit with the original holes. I think I wasn't going to, but I just trying to save me from going back and finishing the bumper in the meantime. And I'll just make it, once I've got the car into primer and I'm happy and I'm doing sanding and whatever, and in between obviously smashing a few coats of primer on the thing, then I'll go back to the bumper and I can just to give it basically a day to sort of cure up properly, like even though you can sand it in about an hour. If I just give it sort of like half a day or a day, then I know that it's fairly cured and shrunk. Not that modern stuff shrinks that much, but then I can spend a few hours getting the ends mocked up, and then it won't matter if I don't finish them until after the car's painted. Like I can get them basically all mocked up and ready to maybe finish well or something like that, and then paint them, or get them ready to paint before we paint the car too, type thing. Because we're doing some repairs in this guard, that needs some, and then we've got to still sort that wheel arch out, and there's that little bit of rock somewhere at the back wheel arch as well, and the bottom of that wheel arch and the side, and then we're going to fill the bumper holes, and then obviously sand, and then eventually get in here and sand. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way. We'll just get the stuff off, and then we will rip the guards off. So instead of talking about it, we'll do it. Right, we'll get that guard off, so I think we'll get the air over here and we'll whip around with a wee wire brush and a few other bits and pieces, and we'll just get the scunge off here. Have a look what's going on with some of these issues. We've got some cracking body filler and whatever there, and hopefully it's just Need a few minor repairs there. Tar it up. Also get rid of that stupid tar shit there. That doesn't give us any more issues. We'll give the man any more issues. And we'll just hopefully mud that. Might use some of that fiberglass filler in there too, so it's just a little bit stronger. Just see how much is in there, and then we'll hammer this out a little bit. Straighten this up. That is really big, it's just a wee bit out of whack. And we'll go from there, I think. Right, so I welded up, you can't see, covered it freaking that glass filler. It's actually weird stuff. That Robolo, it's like just green. Mind you, most of them are green or grey, but yeah, I'll have to get it off there too shortly. But I welded up a bit here and then ground it off. And welded up that split in there and ground it off. And then I've just, to help stop this from hopefully cracking, I've put a bit of that glass filler. I probably don't need out there, but I was just trying to use it up in here to help build this up. So when we put some body filler over top, it's not so thick, and the glass filler just gives a wee bit more strength. I just built in there where I ground that piece out of there, because and here, and then also did I had the welder out. I sorted that bit, and I've put some glass filler in there, and obviously on the other side as well. So yeah, we should be good. Oh, there, I've still got to do the hole down there and sort that out shit later on. But just thought while I was here doing these pieces, we'll do these, and then I can knock this back shortly. It's green, but it's still a bit sticky. Maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll better run over it probably with might even use a flappy wheel and just run over it, if you know what I mean, just to knock the high off, and then I'll better mix up a bit of filler and put them like so in here and anywhere else, if you know what I mean, and then we can probably leave it for the morning. Yeah, I'll have to knock it down, but at least now it's it should have a bit extra guts in it instead of flexing and cracking the filler out of it. Hopefully it doesn't break out of it, but yeah, that's cool. That's kind of that. I didn't really have to put anything in here. It's actually pretty good, this one. I didn't have too many weird spots or breakouts. Doesn't seem to be, obviously, it might be thicker on here, but it's not, doesn't seem to be as bad as what This one was anyway. Well, it hasn't seen the same abuse, so it is what it is. So anyway, I'll let that cure up for a wee bit longer, and yeah, we'll run over it with the grinder and just, or even I might even try it with the Rolex disc with a fresh disc on it, and just hopefully just rip the top off it, if you know what I mean. Just knock any high bits, and then we'll mix up a bit of filler and fill that in. Yeah. So yeah, all right, we'll carry on, and yeah, we'll come back to you a wee bit later on. Alrighty, so back to run away. So I've got a little bit of filler in these. It was almost barely going off there. Then here, and I've got a little bit. Well, I kind of got a little bit in there, and a little bit on the other side, just to felt full. I just wonder if I should just hang around for 5 minutes and just choose grater some of the high off. Just, that's borderline. If I wait a few minutes, I might better just run over it and just knock some of this down. Like, I'm probably going to have to wee bit more filler in here and whatever, just to get the shape back to, to the guard and whatever. But I think the glass filler in here, this here, again, because it was the Robolo brand, I went with it. I could have got some of the other stuff that I'd heard of, but before this, but I said, well, since these guys make it, I might as well use that. That's what I'm using with everything else. So at least it's, like the Caterpillar compatibility is right. And I've never used it, so, and to be honest, I think I probably used fiberglass filler, maybe like 2 or 3 times in my whole lifetime of doing this stuff. But I think I will just keep a little bit on hand. I do see some of the guys in the US and Canada and stuff like that, when they've been doing some big repairs in funny places, they they might glass the like big joins and panels and stuff like that, which kind of makes sense to me, just to give it a wee more strength over a big body panel or something like that. If you've had to cut and join another panel in or something like that, so like rear guards on an old 30s or 40s Chev coupe, and you've had to splice in a piece or something like that, from something else, and then they've gone over with some glass filler to give it a bit of extra strength when they're putting body filler over top of those bits to just so it's, if it does happen to want to flex there at where the weld is or something weird, there's a wee more strength over top of it before you put any body filler over, if things aren't perfect, obviously. But yeah, in this case, I think it's warranted. I don't want to be pulling all the stuff off and trying to rebuild it all and rework it all. Like, you end up with just so many ads and trying to fix everybody else's stuff. I'm just trying to tidy up what it was. We ground this back and found a few little bits of problem, a few little weird issues, like that frickin' sticky tar shit that was all up and around here. It was on here too, plus that front panel. I'll do some glass on that when I'm some body filler and shit on that too when I'm a wee bit more ready with that. I'm not ready enough yet. I could probably do the bottom, but I would like to, at some point, just get a wee bit more idea what I'm going to do with that top edge, because it's been welded and joined. So I may, in just the next few days, we'll see, put everything back on and just test with the bumper back on without all the lights and stuff in it, and just see how that sits against it, and rework this join just so it's not weird, and take this weird kink out of it or something. Just see how it goes. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there, and make it a better situation, and then we will again. It's not too bad a shape now. And we'll mix and filler up and whatever and put on this and straighten it out. They may even put some of that stone chip stuff on here, but at least it's paintable. That other shit's not. If you want to put some sort of texture coating on the bottoms of things to protect them, use something like this. Don't use, especially on the outside of bodywork, like use this, like you can throw paint over it, whereas that tarry shit, the paint won't stick to it, but that will, it's designed for putting along rockers and sills and, the bottom parts of doors and stuff, and then blowing a coat of paint over it, so it takes a wee bit more abuse, with stones and gravel rash and all that sort of bullshit. Like the bottoms of these were quite, it's stone chip. That's why I just took the paint off just to get it back past that shit, if you know what I mean. So no, I'm not trying to fill it and frig around with it later on. We'll blow a few coats of primer over it. Once we've got all our, but I'll probably just flick a wee bit of rattle can each on some of the bare spots and prime it. You know what I mean? Actually, I probably should have etched this shit, but I didn't even think about it. That'll be fine. The temperature's actually not bad. It's actually quite warm, so it probably won't sweat so much. But yeah, you should put frickin' etch on here. I just didn't even think about it. It'll be fine. It's normally when it's cold. It's not cold at the moment. It's starting to get warm, so it's not too bad. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, morning run. Just picked up these yesterday, and you probably think, what the hell am I going to use them for? I was actually watching Rat Rods for Africa diff.
So that's where I get consistent results, much easier or better than trying to do it freehand. I've even gone so far as to make a little mark every 1.5 inches so that my tacks will be nice and equally spaced. I made shall we call it an enlarged diagram of how my little gizmo works. So there's my clamp, that there is my sheet metal, and there's my piece of round bar. So when I put my little jig on here and I clamp it, it will obviously line up the top of the sheet metal with the top of the piece of round bar, and then when I push it in from that side or even tap it lightly with a hammer, it will push that piece of round bar right against the edge.
I think this is the guy's name. There, he's down right in the south of Africa, Muscle Bay, whatever it was. And he was doing wire edges on guards the other day, and he had a few of these, and then he had made these little other clamps up to hold the wire in against the steel. So I thought, man, that'd be pretty handy. So I did a wee Google, and they're like $5 each from one of the little local parts stores. So I knew the missus was going into town to do some grocery shopping and whatever, and I said, well, if they've got some there, grab me some. So yeah, she grabbed 6 since they're only $5 each. So they'll come in handy at some point. Like, I know they're only tiny, but just be handy enough too. Because sometimes you want, something to just hold something, but you haven't got enough vice grips or whatever. Or, if you're doing a wire edge, say like in a vintage car or something like that, where it's all broken and split, you can put a bit of wire back in there, and I'll make up some of these little clamps. I'll pinch a little bit of his footage and I'll show you the idea, but yeah, I thought, shit, that'd be frickin' handy. Just little things, cheap enough. You can't buy much for $5, so because I had a look at a few other places and they were like $10 each, and I said, I'll just go get those ones. If they're no good, we'll frickin', I'm only got $30. Anyway, so we'll get knocking down the body filler. I'll go back to normal camera. Right, we'll get back knocking down the body filler and on these bits and pieces, and we'll get blocking this stuff out, and we'll start tearing into this, sanding this as well and whatever. We'll just see where it leads today. I'm not really sure by the time I've got this block down and feathered out and whatever like that, and applied another couple of bits here, there and everywhere, and trying to get into getting the rest of this roof sanded down and try and get these rear quarters sanded down and whatever. And then obviously we'll have to jack her up and dig into that wee piece and flick the lights, tail lights out and stuff like that. So, and at some point we'll have to give a sand around the door frames and pull the last of this other stuff out. But it's only really seats. And then we'll tape all the dash out and we'll just pull those little trim pieces off. And at some point, if the weather holds, it doesn't get too shitty, I'll get out and I'll give this a bit of a blast underneath here and soak it down with that other stuff, and we'll just give it a blast in here, because I'll flick a bit of that when I do the insides of the front guards with that stone guard. I'll give it a good flicking around here and around these door hinges and stuff like that. Just give it a bit more protection than just bare paint in here. But anyway, we'll stop waffling and we'll knock this down. Right. Hope you can see this. Oh, don't trip over the cord. You're right, yeah, the camera's still in the right way. I'm close to it. So you can really see how unlevel this was, you know. Because you can see, like, this is still shiny paint in here. Still shiny paint in here. It's not too bad through here, but like it still needs a bit more. I can feel it I can feel that it's almost like it's, you know, it's got like high spots. So this is where one good thing with this like sort of type Durablock. This is where I would actually like the thinner acrylic blocks. So I do have some blocks. Like this one here would probably be alright too, but it's probably a little stiff. Like I know that that Lucky Matt makes ones that are like thinner than this again, then obviously thicker, but this is where these sort of come into play because these are quite flexible. This is not a bad block to be doing this with, you know, to really sort of get the highs and lows out of it. Like you can even see here, like where I think I showed you, where it looks just funny in the paint, where you can see like the different layers of paint underneath, and then the colour was blown over top. You can see where it being sanded and repaired and whatever else. So you can actually see where I've cut back. So we've still got some shiny paint out around here, but you can see the different layers of paint and stuff that I've cut back through, just trying to flatten it out, and it's probably still not enough, if you know what I mean. I'm bringing you around here a little bit. If I can point that out to you, you might be able to see that from over there. Yeah, here, in this area here, I'll bring it nice and close-ish. So yeah, like in here, you could really see the repairs underneath here, like with the different layers of paint, and then they're blown over top of it, and you can see where it had the little steps and the waves in it and circles in it from where it had been sanded and repaired, but not evened out, you know what I mean? Not blocked out properly. I think a lot of it was probably done by hand, with just a hand, you know, a piece of paper in your hand, or maybe just a very small block or something like that. Whereas it's a wee bit awkward to do these front guards with that big wooden block. It's a little stiff. There's quite a bit of shape in these. They're pretty flat, but there's a bit of shape. But it wasn't too bad for a start off, just for knocking it down. But I find this better because it's a smaller area, and we can basically cover most of the area with this. You know, with you blocking out in the different directions, and then you can also come into this, you know, reshaped flared guard. Yeah, it's you're just cutting through all those layers, and you can see where some of it was high and some of it was, or where, you know, you haven't pulled down enough. Basically, all the high pieces I'm flattening out. So by the time we put, you know, giving this a bit more of a block down and got it shiny, and obviously got all these other pieces done, and then we put our 3 or 4 coats on top, it's going to be really good. You know, especially when we get into the finer grades, and it's not so, you know, you're not ripping through it so much, and we're starting to get it really smoothed out. But I can really feel that there's still a few highs and lows in here. I'll try and block this out a bit more. We'll try and get it down as much as we can without having to put obviously anything extra in it. I'd rather pull down what's here before I start putting body filler into any of these other spots, and hopefully get it down far enough and blend it out with it. I don't have to really put much body filler in, except for where we've done a few little repairs and fix some of the funny spots on it. Like I may have to put a wee scooch in somewhere else, but yeah, by the time we've blocked it out, and we'll guide coat it a couple of times before we even put primer on. And yeah, we should be pretty close by the time we've blocked out. It'll be pretty nice by the time we've blocked out. And like I say, like 2, 3, 4 coats of that good thick high build, and then might thin down just a bit of like a sealer coat for later, before we paint, and yeah, give it a rub back with some 400 and 600, and smash her on, and she should be good. I have to. I didn't realise that Marko saw it so deep and it's a bit rusty there, so I'll have to scuff this back and put a wee bit of something in there and clean up that bit of rusty stuff where the bumper's been rubbing on it. You know, original bumper end's been rubbing on it. But yeah, we will carry on. Right, just watch a bit of Brent from Halfass. He's mucking around with that, I think it's 53 or 54 shed. Just put the windscreen at the moment. He's just trying to get it running and driving, but he's missing pieces, so he finally decided to tackle the windscreen. But I just got a little bit more mud in here now. I just scraped it through, and I scraped it and where there was still a wee bit of blue, just to try and help me from doing quite so much sanding to get this to smooth out. As you can see, I've pulled it back a long way, but there's still a couple little patches of like blue, so I'm just trying to put a little bit of something in just to help fill it and blend it a little bit easier, save me just digging through this quite so much more. I'll block it hard back anyway, but we'll just put a little bit in some of the spots where it was just a little low, and where I dug that piece of scratched bit out where the bumper been rubbing, so I've scraped a bit more through there and through here just to fill a little bit extra. Same in down there, just to smooth her out, blend her out. So we'll get onto that now, and we'll start smoothing that out some more, and then we'll switch back to this. Right, I'll bring you back later on when I've got a bit more done on that. Righty, just got back from lunch. So just before lunch, I just put another real thin layer on here. I run my hand around it, and you could still feel it was from where I'd repaired, and plus the stuff, it was a bit lumpy, so I just put out a bit extra meat on there to block out and just try to blend in what we've been working on earlier on. So we'll just tip this again, and we'll come back to you when we're done a bit more. Might as well just throw you on the tripod and just do a bit of high speed, I guess. Blocking out. I just don't know how much you frickin' want to watch. Anyway, we'll throw it back up on the tripod, and we'll crank up something on the frickin' YouTube, and we'll have that going in the background, and we'll keep sanding. Right, there's another hour. And you can see with that, putting the guide coat on, and how much still is just that little bit low, you know. It is scratching through it, but it's shows how wavy that was, you know. I don't realise. We've still got like a few little bits to sort out, and then obviously I'm going to have to try and I might hang this, just have a good look down there. I know that's not dead even, if you know what I mean, the edge. I might just have to play with that a little bit more. Oh no, I'll have to play with it a little bit more, but yeah, you can still see where, you know, I'm not so worried about in right against these edges. That's kind of just, it is what it is, trying to get in there with, into the edges with 80 grit, if you know what I mean. We're just trying to get this leveled out the best we can, you know, and get all the different layers down to as close as possible to where we want them to be. Like you can still see, like you still see shiny through here, you know, in places. It's crazy, you know, and I'll block the piss out of it in places. It's not too bad in here, but you can still see where, you know, where any of the original, well, I wouldn't say the original, the last layer is on top, and then I've sprayed the guide on it. You can see like how much, you know, it's amazing the amount of that are just high and low, and using that Durablock, wherever it is, wherever I set it down. Where is it? And I was using with that before. What did I do with it? Oh, I don't know. God, brick. Brains in a fart. Oh, it's over in the rubbish container. Or trash container, whatever you want to call that thing. Wheelie bin. Yeah, been using this block. Mainly to get it flattened out, just because of the nature and like the smaller, slightly smaller areas that I'm working with. But yeah, it's just like it needs just a wee scrape here and there. But I think what I'll do is I'll probably put some glazing putty in there. Hopefully, I think there's still a bit left in that tube. That's something that I should have got the other day when I got the bloody kitty here filler, the fiberglass filler. Should have got another one of those too, but that's alright. I can soon order one, but it'll be Monday now. So yeah, we just might put a little scrape in some of these places. Hopefully we'll get this with block, or I think, to be honest, a lot of this will fill and pulled back down with high build. It's pretty close, you know, like it's kind of almost close enough. I'd like to get it just a little bit, get a little bit more of this out of it. Like it doesn't actually feel bad, but you can feel the odd spot, if you know what I mean. Possibly should have, I don't know, possibly could have put a wee scrape of filler out here. Maybe I could put a little bit of glazing putties in some of the slightly darker areas. Maybe just help backfill a little. But I'm not down to steel anywhere yet, so I can go further. Like we're starting to come through the original paint here. This was originally dark blue. It had a few layers on it. So this front end's definitely been replaced. But I think all the doors and everything else from the fronts, backs original, I think these have all been replaced. The bonnet and the front guards, or hood and front guards. But yeah, we're coming back through to one of the original layers anyway. There's a bit of material on here yet that I can keep cutting through if I really want to. So I might put another fresh piece of that on there and rip it back just a bit fucking harder again. Starting to lose its edge. It's freaking good stuff, this though. Man, this stuff is amazing. Like that still cuts really good, but it's just, you know, like how much time do you spend between a part worn piece. Good for cleaning up a little bit of stuff around the edges and stuff, you know, because it's not quite so aggressive now. But maybe a brand new piece might be just a ticket to just run back over it one more time to Try and get that last little bit down before we do the final little fill and blend and get it ready for primer. Like they're not far away now. Hopefully maybe another hour's work or a wee bit more. But I should have them sorted by the end of the day. Hopefully. But yeah. I'm going to sit down and have a break for another 5. And we'll carry on. Yeah, I think I put a little bit of, I'm trying to decide whether I put a little bit of glazing putty in before I start with a new sheet of paper. And just tuck it back into some of and fill some of these pinholes and whatever. And we scooch in here. I don't think it's worth mixing up a body filler, if you know what I mean. Like you end up trying to mix up so little. And just blend all these pieces in, and then just hang it. Just have a wee look around the edge and just see if we can get that dialed in a little nicer. I haven't really tried to dial it, if you know what I mean. I'm just more concentrating on this and then just trying to slowly fill this and knock the highs and lows down. Bit of a pig of a thing. I might, when I think I get it hanging, I'll have a wee look at maybe one of these other blocks, slightly longer, flexible, wide blocks. Just see whether one of those might just kind of hold its shape across a decent section. I'm trying to get it to knock the highs off and bring it all flat, or bring it all smooth. Yeah. Anyway, we'll carry on. Righty, welcome back again. So, I'm trying to remember where we were on Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, because it was a long weekend, I didn't come on Saturday. So in the midst of just knocking down some last little bits and pieces, I think, on these guards, some glazing putty that I put in. And then I think we should actually better get into some other stuff on the front, or on the car. I actually had the owner come down here yesterday. He was looking through some bits and pieces, trying to work out if there was any other new bits and pieces he was trying to get hold of, like some weather stripping and things like that. He's not sure what he's going to do, whether he's going to replace most things or not, if you know what I mean. But I said there's a bit of a crunchy piece in the floor on the passenger side, so we had a wee dig there. I left that to him, if you know what I mean. Sorry about that, fat finger. So yeah, I left that to him and pointed it out, and he had a bit of a poke. I was going to, and I was like, nah, I'll just, if he's down here at some point, I'll just, if I remember, I'll let him know. So we had a bit of a poke at that, so there's a rust hole there, so we'll have to get in and clean that bit of floor out, and obviously fix that too. Everything else I think is okay. I'll have a better look. I'll get it up in the air at some point, and when I'm doing a wee bit of work on these rockers, I'm not actually going to do any rust repair. There's a dent in that one, or sill. There's a dent in that one, and I don't think that one's okay, but I've actually got to get a broken bolt out of for the front guard on that one. Worst comes to worst, I'll drill it out and I'll put a nutsert in there. I should have I hope I might have a 5mm or 6mm nutsert that I could put in there if I have to. But yeah, there's a couple of things like that, and obviously we've got to get down here and see what's going on with this rot in the bottom of here. Hopefully there's nothing on the other side. So yeah, that's a few things we've got to look at. I noticed the other day when we were looking at it, you could just see it was just looked a little bit, had like that, just sort of that starting rust sort of look. And when I gave it a poke, it was like, ooh, that's quite crunchy. So yeah, I let him have a poke at it. I just said, when I was down there pulling the guard off the other day, I noticed it was a bit of rust in there, and I sort of gave it a wee poke, and it sounded a bit crunchy. So he had a decent poke at it. So it was like, at least now he knows, and he's seen it and he's dived into it. So it's something else. Got a sort as well. And I've got these few bits of funny. It's not too bad here. It's over here. It's been broken or cracked and welded and fixed. So I want to try and do something with that so it's tidier. Obviously we're going to clean it up and paint it anyway, but need to fix that so it doesn't look like it's been screwed around with, if you know what I mean. Just tidy it up and make it look decent and try and square it all up so it's not all cattywampus. Yeah. So I'm just looking at stuff, making sure. It's kind of weird, that shape of that compared with the shape of that. I might look into that too, just because I think that's partly why it looks like it's been straightened out or something, but I think that's partly why that front end on that side looks like it's kind of off, if you know what I mean. So we might at some point just make a bit of a cardboard template and just lay it over from one side to the other to make sure that is square, that is in the right position compared with the other side. It just looks like it's more, I don't know, like angled up when you look at that. I'll move this freaking thing out of the road. Something jammed underneath there, oh, bloody cord. So yeah, you see that's quite square, but it could be just pushed back too. That looks very, it's like, I wouldn't say it's square, but you know, like it looks pretty square. Whereas this looks a bit more, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. There's something not quite right with it compared with the other side. Almost look like, you know, that's where it's been hit or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have a wee bit of a tidy up there anyway. Just have to have a wee nosy. Just, it might make my life a little bit easier when it comes to putting things back together and it looks, so something doesn't look wonky. Where else? What else? Obviously we're still to get into sanding these. I've got to get the glass out of it. Actually might hit the missus up and see if she can come down and just give me a hand, so I can climb in here and I can pop the glass out and she can obviously give me a hand to catch it so it doesn't go smash on the floor. And then I can deal with the rest of this, and she might be able to just give me maybe a hand just to start sanding in around the jams, just give them a good scuff up. Yeah, like the seats are like a 2-minute frickin' get out. So that'll be a good wee little test for that new ratchet and impact I've got. Test these out. You would have seen the video. I popped up a little video. It's way ahead, like from by the time this video comes up. In that video got up like it's probably a week or two ahead of where the videos are actually up from working standpoint, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm going to test these and see how these go. I'll actually do a review. I might do a 1 week or a 2 week review on just what I feel on these things. I really like this. It's been really handy. Again, like, you know, the old welding lens and this is getting pretty grubby. It's probably a bit of dirt and dust as well, but you know, I'll give it a good clean with that wee buffer. I don't know, once a fortnight at least anyway. If I'm doing a lot of welding, it's a wee bit more often, but it's just awesome. And it was really handy for cleaning up the glass on the on here. Like I run over this the other week with it and like got all the shit off the ear. It's been really handy, and it's going to be handy for obviously polishing up stuff as well, like car paint and stuff, like just in awkward places or doing headlights or whatever. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to trying these out, and just giving them a bit of a test over the next week or two, just see how they perform compared with like an 18 volt. Like this one's getting knackered. That driver works quite good. Even this is getting knackered. The battery on this is getting a bit knackered. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. I do have some Makita stuff here too, but it's the owner's stuff. Like the grinder and whatever. Most of the time he's got his stuff in his truck. And sometimes I've got a battery in here. It's a pain in the butt. Because I quite like that. I was using that. There was a DeWalt grinder here, but I don't know if it's buggered now or not. I haven't actually forgot to ask what he's done with that. But yeah, all the batteries are getting ready to hammer on it. But yes, we'll do a bit of a review on these over the next few days, and I'll see through a video. I'll let you know what I think of them, tell you how they're performing. I just thought they'd be handy for undoing and doing up stuff like this sort of thing, just test fitting. You know, just zap it up instead of me using a frickin' ratchet or a spanner. You know, like just trying to speed things up a little bit. That's one thing I haven't really had. I have got a couple of bits that I put in that, but I find I don't know, like I tried, what do you want to call it? I did have a half-inch drive one for that, but I actually broke it in a Milwaukee drill. I had it in that and it snapped. So, but I do have a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch when I put in that, so I might actually put the 1/4 inch one in here. We'll see how that works too, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'll carry it on, and yeah, we'll get some stuff done. Get a little bit of sanding done on here, and then we'll get into it. Right, so if you're wondering what I've been doing for the last few minutes, basically I cleaned all the excess rubber that was in here. Like it's all over the ground. It was really built up, like hardened against it. And I was concerned on rust down in here. You can sort of see like there's just little bits of surface. It isn't broken through anywhere. The owner doesn't want to take the glass out of it, the main windscreen, because he doesn't want to have to get it glued back in again. But So I went around there, cleaned all the excess glue, rubber, whatever out, and then run around it with the wire brush and that little roll locks on the drill, and just sort of cleaned up the surfaces a bit, you know, sort of just scuffed the shit out of the road, and then we just sprayed some brake clean in there to give it a good clean out, and obviously taped up the window, which didn't really work so well. Should have brake cleaned it and then taped it, but it doesn't matter. It stopped the worst of the shit getting on. I just didn't want to end up with a big greasy frickin' mess all over the windscreen, and then sprayed some of that rust convert in there to at least slow that shit down, and then anything that's up on the paint or anything like that, it'll disappear anyway when I start finish sanding this roof. You can see how frickin' terrible this paint job is. But anyway, so at least that's sorted now, and the chrome's off it, or stainless is off it, and we're good to go for the next step. Obviously I've got to still clean up down here and whatever, and down here and whatever, but I just wanted to get in there and get that done, and at least that now is going to get a good chance to do plenty of convert, and we'll try and give it a wee scuff up down in there later on, obviously when we're ready to prime and paint and whatever, but at least then we can mask out the glass, and we've still got this nice gap down here, and we can get paint in and all that sort of shit. So hopefully, you know, the rust converter will seal it up, or at least stop it, and if we don't get a whole heap of paint down in there, it doesn't really matter, but as long as we can get some good paint down in here, and we can always brush a bit of something down in there as well, if you know what I mean, if we have to, just to help give it some more protection. But by the time we put a few coats of primer on and whatever else, and then a coat of paint, it'll be better than nothing down in there, and it's at least the rust converter's at least slowing down the rot. Ideally, like, you'd pull the windscreen out and give that all a good clean up, and then you can check for any rot under here and make sure it's, you know, when it's re-glued to you shouldn't have any leaks either, if you know what I mean, from inside the car, you know, in case the glue's separated somewhere. But it is what it is. If he doesn't want to take it out, you know, I'm not arguing with him. It's his money. It's what he wants to spend. You know, it's extra time. And if I break the windscreen, well, then I've got to replace it. So that's what enough does now. If it was mine, I would take it out, but it's not. So, you know, you just do what the customer asks to a certain degree, if you know what I mean. You know, you can always advise them to go around it, but it's not that bad. If it was really rotten in there, well, you know, then we would cross, you know, a slightly different bridge, you know. But it's just a little bit of scabby sort of stuff on the surface. There's no holes or anything in there, so a bit of a clean up, some rust convert, and you know, hopefully a coat of paint, and should be good for years. And as long as they don't fill this up full of shit so the water can't get out, it'll be fine, you know what I mean. That was the biggest problem. It was so full of frickin' rubber, the water couldn't run out, you know, with driving down the road, like with wind pressure and whatever, and you know, it just couldn't get out of there. So of course it was going to rot. So anyway, we'll carry on now. I might even try and see if I can get these out by myself. We'll see. But we need to carry on with something. I've got a little bit of stuff to sand off over there. Put a little extra on a couple of spots. Oh, actually, on that other guard, I put some more. I hadn't put any glazing putting on that other guard, I realised. So yeah, I'll give that a wee sand off as well, and we'll just start cleaning up all this shit and see if we can get the carpet out of it and have a look at that floor and whatever. But yeah, I'm not too worried about in here at the moment. We might leave this till a wee bit later on, until we're a bit closer to getting the rest of the car ready, and then we can whoop some stuff off in here and give it a scuff up and whatever. I'll still deal with this though. I'll get this sorted shortly. But like giving us a scuff up in here, like if the worst comes to worst, it doesn't happen. You know, we've still got plenty of paint. We can always mask it out and clean it up and do it later on, if you know what I mean. You know, one day I'd like to do it beforehand, but you know, worst comes to worst. You know, if all these other things add up to a bit much and he hasn't got enough money and we run out of time, well, we can always scuff that and give it a blow round, you know, later on. So anyway, we'll carry on. Right, so that stuff's definitely working. We might give it another dose, but you can see it's nice and black down in there now, where the rust has been, so we might put another dose of that in there. But I'm glad I got these back windows out. I actually managed to use those plastic, what do you want to call it, trim clips, tools, and just wedged them in around here. And I'm glad I got it out, because you can see there's like a little bit of surface on here, so it's not that bad. But the same one here, it's a bit of rust. But this has been repaired. And this is the sort of thing that annoys me. That's all bare steel. Most of that is bare steel. So they've repaired some stuff at some point. Somebody has, probably when they've done all this other body work, but they've never come along here and put something on here, like even some primer or anything. So like it was just going to rust out again. This is like, why wouldn't you? You know, it's obviously had a wee bit of body work done in here, and this is obviously what this is. But then instead of, you know, putting a decent bit of paint on the inside and giving it a clean up, they just, we'll just slap the freaking glass back in it, away you go. So, that's something else I found, but that's alright. Probably what I need to do is get in from behind here with these panels out. I didn't realise, but might give it a bloody good drown in those wheel arches with that stuff as well. Actually, I meant to get, the day I got that stuff, I grabbed some cavity wax, but I think I'll use a bit of rust converter in there first. But yeah, well, at least we can clean this up now and deal with that. So we're getting there, and I might, how does that come out? You just undo here, I guess. You can get into the bolts in here, but it's underneath the trim, so I won't worry about it. We'll just undo the hinges. What do I do here? I might just have to pull the back part of this trim and just see whether there's a clip in here for the wiring, or maybe there's one in here for the wiring. It's only it's just tail lights, or not, number plate lights, and the glass for the wiring. So hopefully it might be just a clip in here somewhere. Just have to have a feel. Does it feel like there's a clip there anyway? Don't know. We'll have a bit of a poke. Hopefully there's one in here somewhere. It doesn't appear to be, but it'd be nice to be able to pull this glass off. I see, so that's into the windscreen washer. That's the windscreen washer. Maybe be nice if there was a frickin' just a, you know, a clip in here somewhere that I can, you know, just undo the wiring and leave it in the glass, so I don't have to pull it out of here and fish it fucking in and out. I can, but it's just a no, so it's not so bad. Because I'm contemplating taking this glass out too, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. And it's pretty solid, really. Like it's got a wee bit of damage there, you know, whatever. Not too worried about it. We'll give it a decent clean up, and we'll spray, you know, the same colour around here and obviously in here. I'm not going to spray in here. If he wants to paint it in here, he can do something with the, you know, once he does upholstery and whatever. We'll just spray in around the jams. But yeah, you know, we'll let this strip down a wee bit further, and then we'll come back to you. Hopefully I don't have to do anything weird to freaking, worst comes to worst, I can take this panel off and get a bit of like string or something like that and pull this through and take the string to it, and then leave the string in here with I can tie a nut to it or something like that, so it's easy to pull the wiring back through again. What the heck's going on here? Why have they got bolts in there for? It's weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you have bolts on? It's kind of strange. You should just have like big plastic clips. Somebody screwed bolts in there. Oh, anyway, we'll cross that bridge later on. I might flick, when I'm painting here, I might just flick in here, you know, but not go right in, if you know what I mean. Because I don't want to end up getting into this, but we might just better mask off, so at least if the carpet's showing around the edge or something like that, we might just go up into here just a little bit. We'll see. Might just help blend that in, or we'll just paint it black or something. Yeah. Carry on. We'll keep getting some bits out of the road. Righty, that should sort that rust out. I'll have to clean it off again. That's the only issue with that stuff. Like, you'll have to, once it's sort of dried, you got to come back in and clean it all off and whatever, and get it back to nice clean metal, because it goes all gooey and whatever. But it kills and neutralises everything, which is really good. It's not something I like. It's a good product, but I just don't like using it so much. Really, it is good, like, if you're doing like full bare metal projects and stuff like that, and everything's back to bare metal, and you know, and you're working on easy work panels, and you got to go back over it and get it all off anyway, to really neutralise that rust. But yeah, what's happened is they've welded new sections in here. It's been welded through here and up into here somewhere, and there's a bit of a funny patch in there. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's hidden by the trim. And we'll just have to put a little bit of more body filler on it. But they actually had this line built up too much too. Like, they had actually had too much body filler in here again. Like, there wasn't much, but it kind of lost its line. So when I redo it, we'll work around it and see if we can make it just look a little bit better. It could be even sucked in a little bit here, to be honest, but we'll cross that bridge when we get a bit further on. But at least now, all that rusty shit that was on there, that was one in places never been painted. They never painted anything on that. It was still bare steel, so it was rotting. So obviously whatever moisture was getting in behind the rubbers, was just going back onto where it had been welded. You know, if it hadn't been covered up properly, and they'd try to frickin', I don't know, whatever this paint is, just trying to slap something in there to obviously tidy it up and paint over. But yeah, like, why couldn't they got something that was like, I don't know, 10 shades different, and at least it wouldn't have stuck out like a sore thumb. But yeah, so that was what's going on there. So now I understand why this was screwed around with. They welded some new strips in here and fixed it all up, obviously, at some point. And what I might do is actually poke the camera up in there and have a good look too, make sure there's nothing weird going on from the inside as well. So we'll do that now. Alright, got a torch. Grab one of these torches just so I can poke it up in there. We look. Yeah, that's cool. Actually looks alright. We'll spray a bit of shit up in there anyway, just to make sure it is sealed up. But yeah, that's cool. It looks alright there. I was just a wee bit worried about it, you know what I mean? I said something sprayed up in there, I think, by the looks of it. So that's cool. That's the main thing. Anyway, what we'll do now, might as well take tail lights and bits and pieces out, and then we'll see if I can work out how to get this wiring out of here and whatever, and we'll carry on from there. Right, see if I can get you in a slightly better position. Yeah, that'll do, I think. Right, so I popped just the back edge of this lining and had a look in here. There's no plug. The wiring just goes way up there, so I don't have the choice of just undoing a plug here and pulling it up through that hole, which would be the nice way to do it. But I've unplugged the lights and the wiring. This wire here, I think, stays here by itself, so it doesn't get pulled out, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is tie this string to here. I only want to pull it. When I pull it back through, I'll tape it to the wires when I pull it back through, but just in the meantime, just to get this back through there, we'll just tie it onto this earth, which goes onto here, and hopefully we should be able to now just pull this back through here. I'm hoping, if I can. And I have to do this to do it. I've got a phone in here. Get that out of there. Hopefully we can just pull these out one at a time. There's a bit of string. So all I'll do is I'll just tie that together. And when we go to spray the inside of it, if the string gets fucking paint on it, what does it matter? Don't matter shit. But at least now I can undo like the stays and the hinge. And all we're going to do is unplug this squirter, which shouldn't be too difficult, and yeah, then we can take this off and then maybe have a go at taking the glass out. I've pulled the clips, so that's no biggie. Now I can just untie that from here. And we'll just freaking tie that in a bit of a knot, just so it doesn't, end up mistakenly pulling it out from either end. What do I do there? I don't know. But yeah, we'll just tie a loose knot on it, so we can, when we go ready to pull that string back through, we just go undo the knot, tape it up, and pull it back through, and we're golden. So now I can pull the rest of these bits off and we get this hatch off, and yeah, the spare panel stand over there to sit this on. At least then we can sand that and whatever, get it prepped for. So we'll have to pull all the other bits out of it too, probably. We'll have to pull all this shit off anyway to paint it properly. But yeah, so that's how you do that. That's how you pull wiring through, if you're ever wondering, on some sort of vehicle. Yeah, just tie a bit of string to it and pull it through. And then when you're ready to pull it back through, yeah, just make sure you've got the string really well secured. I would tape it on here, put a good amount of tape on it, so it can't. So then you don't end up pulling the terminal off if you're trying to pull it through, if you know what I mean. Put a tape on there and then you can just pull it back through. Just feed these through and then there you go. Just gently pull it back through. Oh, just quick wee. Haven't really used this much, but I don't know whether this has been off before or not, but undo those bolts easy enough. That's cool. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. Like, I don't think we'll ever take a wheel nut off, but for doing lots of pieces like this, you know, depending on the age of the vehicle and what the condition is like, I wouldn't use this a lot in some places, but handy if you just want to take things on and off, like on something like a bit more like this, if you know what I mean. So, one do these and the vehicle will carry on and get it out of the road. And then where you can sand this friggin' thing. Right. So I'm just cleaning up around this area. Just disconnect that for 5 seconds. So again, I've painted that, whatever it is, it's that horrible black tar shit on there. It's a real bad move. I don't know, whatever it is, it's not the right product for what they were trying to achieve, which is a shame. So I'm gonna have to get in there and try and clean that off. So when I spray and around, just the parts that will sort of be seen, I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to have to fucking paint in here. It's gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass because it's still got the hood lining in it. But I think I might just have to buy some colour in this area. Like I don't want to go right into it. I was kind of trying to avoid that, but it's either that or I'll just paint some black in there. I might do that. I think I said that before. I was trying to kind of avoid it, but got that same fucking horrible shit on there, and there's quite a bit of just surface rust on there. So I think I'm just going to clean it up again with that Scotch-Brite wheel. Clean that shit off and around that area, and we'll just paint some black back to here or something. And do something like that. But yeah, well, I'm just getting the last of these out. These tools are so far really good. It's been using them to undo screws and bits and pieces. Like, haven't had any issues so far. Makes life easier, I'll tell you that. Sometimes I wonder why I haven't. I'm a bit. It's probably okay with this sort of era of stuff as long as it's not rusty. It's normally pretty good. Most things will come out fine. But it's when you get into something that's, you know, this is 40 years old and it's been reasonably well looked after. But when you get into some of that stuff that's like 60 and 70 and 80 or 100 years old or even older, it's a bit difficult to use this sort of stuff because things are frozen up all the time. You got to be gentle and just, if you can do something by hand, at least you can feel whether the bolt's going to come or the screw's going to come, and you don't break something off. So I'll still tend to probably pull those sorts of things apart, but if I sort of get to the point where, you know, you've undone 3 or 4 bolts and they feel, you know, you've just broken that seal, then I might be able to come back around with something like that, an impact or something, and just undo stuff. But yeah, so far really good. Very handy. Quite critical, still getting that right. Right, like that needs replaced, but it's not hard to replace just the glass. Yeah, we'll get cleaning out. It's almost cleaned up. We'll get this area cleaned up so I can make up those patches for the year. And then we'll start sanding the back guards and bring everything around that needs to be sanded. I've got it up on axle stands too on the back now too, just to get up a little bit higher. I think I might drag the saw out of it a little bit just to get a little more room behind me. So it's not so much in the road. Come in here with a sanding block and start knocking all this down, getting it evened out. You have to see this stuff isn't dried yet, it needs to dry off before I can clean it up. But we can carry on with all this stuff anyway. Just clean all this shit up to make sure we haven't got any too many fucking issues going on. I don't want to be trying to do too many repairs for this car, otherwise it's just going to blow the thing out of the budget, but it is what it is. What's going on there? Right, you know, carry on cleaning up shit here. Come back to you a little bit later on.